What's up, Hackstab Slash? I am here today with my man Justin to tell you why takeout food is not good for your health.
It
Justin,
isn't good.
let the fam damn know why you eat a banana and cauliflower tots every day for lunch.
All right, let's go. The reason I eat all that is because it fuels a proper horror podcast. And that's right. I just crushed the workout and I crushed all my post workout snacks and everything. But you know what? Today, I got some takeout. Takeout from 2025. I know that's like, I don't know if you can still eat takeout from 2025, but we're going to get into it and we're going to let you
I
know
mean, have
if
you ever seen those clips where people have McDonald's from like 1982 and it still fucking looks edible?
exactly. So that's why Sean and I got to tell you
Is takeout edible?
from 2025, worth it or not. Who picked this? You picked this?
Is I picked this, and the only criteria you gave me, my
Oh, yeah.
dog, was to pick something from 2025 to 2026. And let me be quite honest, Hackstab Slash. Everything I asked Justin to watch, he was like, I ain't got that streaming service. I ain't got that one. Nope, don't got that one. And then he had the audacity to be like, what do you just have every streaming service out there? My answer to that, Justin, is yes.
I
Yes, I do.
was gonna say I was like 0 for 7. Like my watching of television is one horror movie a week for the podcast, and that's pretty much it. I mean, unless like hockey's on.
Let's just fucking kick this off, dude, because I've actually seen this before. So I kind of know a little bit about what goes on. And all I can say is welcome to the Big Dripper. Messy ass fucking patties all up in this bitch. This is where Nova works, and she's naturally late for work, and Harper's giving her a write up in the process while Benny's out back flipping some burgers. And we see on the news that the doll keeper is a serial killer on the loose, and he has currently claimed his eighth victim. All the while, Nova and Harper show us that they are very two different people. Justin, I feel like Nova comes off as relaxed, maybe a little rebellious,
Mm,
but she kind of gives off that she's a responsible person with
yeah.
street smarts. Like she knows
Hmm.
what's up and she knows when to keep her mouth shut. She knows when to put her head down and go to work. Meanwhile, Harper just seems like this kiss ass, goody good, two shoes fucking freaks out if the pen caps are left off. You know what I mean? Like she just gives off them vibes.
No, I do know what you mean. Just because quick, when we are introduced to all three of these characters, I liked Nova immediately, and then and same thing when like you talk about in a minute, like Benny, I liked him immediately too. Harper though, I was like, oh man, she's gonna grow on me because I didn't get the best vibes right off the bat.
Uh-uh. And then you also see like some tension, dude, because Benny is clearly out on parole because he's getting his balls busted by a dude named Frank, who is like, nope, you can call me deputy because I'm a cop. And he basically tells his deputy that he needs to respect him. He's like, Benny, you need to respect me because I'm authority and your parole officer wouldn't like to hear about you back talking a cop. All right, man. So let's not forget who's the dog and who's the person holding the leash in this situation, Justin.
That
And as he's barking at Benny, Benny looks at him and goes, wait, am I holding the leash? Or are you supposed to be the dog? Like, what's going on? And this dude Frank just looks like an absolute imbecile because he fucked up his own analogy.
so bad, so bad. That would be something like I would try to say, try to be like really cool and just say the wrong words completely.
Yep, 100%. But Harper, when we say she's like a pain in the ass, she's a pain in the ass because Nova doesn't have her hat today. And Harper is losing her mind over it. So Nova goes out, she checks her car. While she's out there, she has a little creepy ass interaction with some dude, and she spots a doll in this guy's back seat. And instantly you can see, yeah, red flags just flying everywhere in the form of anxiety for Harper. Not Harper, Nova, excuse me.
Nova.
She goes back in and she kind of calls like an immediate, employee meeting, and she's like, "Yo, Harper, Benny, come here. I gotta tell you some shit. I think this man's the doll maker because there's a doll in his back seat." They're like, "All right, well, there's a very hefty price tag on catching this dude. It's in the shape of $250,000. So let's
Hmm.
get some proof. Let's not call the cops. Red flag,
I was gonna
and
say,
let's
oh
call the hotline first."
yeah, dude, this plan.
It's so stupid, dude, because how do they
It,
get this dude? How do they buy time to go check this guy's car? They get Nova to
it
spill coffee on this dude's lap. She snatches this man's keys, goes out there while Benny's stalling him in the bathroom by holding it shut.
literally
She
holding it shut.
Dude, she finds a dead body in this trunk. And for someone who is currently in the presence of who they think this serial killer is, and she is out on a reconnaissance mission with minimal time. Bro, Nova takes fucking forever. She takes so long to look in this man's trunk. And when she sees his dead body, it feels like she takes 5 minutes to take the picture and another 15 to walk back to the restaurant.
She was just
They don't
chilling
even
out
put the
there.
keys back on the table, dude. Harper has to snatch the keys up out of her
Oh,
hand and toss them back onto the table. Justin, what the
dude.
hell is going on right now?
This is what's going on is a terrible freaking plan. Their execution is awful. And once again, so she
Bunch of
shows them the pic.
amateurs.
Yeah, seriously, like haven't you been in this situation before and know how to handle it? God, this happens like all the time.
Man,
Yeah,
this is
so
like a Tuesday here in Middleborough.
seriously, this happened to us like last week when we were just hanging out at the local diner. And anyway, they like, yeah, once again, not calling the cops because they are worried about the money. And Benny's like, I'm gonna call the reward line again. So he's calling this stuff to make sure it's legit. And the boss comes, which this boss, the boss lady is
I
absolutely.
hated her the second I saw her.
I
I was like, this Jersey Shore snooky ass wannabe needs to take her puppy and get the fuck out.
Well, that's funny because I was just gonna say, how do you like describe her? But you literally just did, and like I said, that's so funny. Just because I was like, what would be the best way? Because she's obnoxious, and she arrives, and right away,
Dude,
like,
obnoxious would be giving her a compliment.
yeah, and like Benny puts the phone on hold and everything, and dude, never mind. Like she is going right at Benny, like oh my god, this. Well, I wouldn't say there's even sexual tension because it's just her wanting him,
It's
and he's
not.
kind of
But my,
yeah.
my only note for that whole set of scenes is this lady put the ass in nasty.
Yeah, like oh my god, dude, he wants no part of it.
I feel
And
so bad for Benny.
then you see all of a sudden they lose like Wi-Fi, and they're like, oh my god, like this is not good at all because that dude they want the reward money. That was their big plan is change that. Well, now they got no, and then guess what? Now what happens? Another girl arrives, and you see she's meeting with the suspected doll keeper.
I was
And
wondering why this dude was still sitting there with his cold ass fries and his coffee crotch. I would have
yeah,
left like 10 minutes ago.
I thought it was very odd too. I'm like, why wouldn't he just bail? But then we see like, and they're talking like it's like their first. You can kind of tell it's like their first time meeting. So you're like, this is a date or something. And you see, meanwhile, they're like trying to set up like a landline out back to try to like make it work, and it's just not working. And then just to make it a little weirder, another guy arrives, and it actually ends up being one of like their school teacher. So now
Yeah, it's
you got
Mr. Greenwood, or you could
Greenwood.
just call him Ned Flanders for the rest of this episode.
Yeah, seriously. So now all of a sudden Flanders comes in, and once again, now that they're like, there's a lot happening. Like, and they're like, oh my god, we can't let this girl go or this girl go. So once again, their plan is they steal his keys, and this dude reacts crazy. The doll keeper is screaming at him, like, where are my keys? What is going on? Holy crap, you stole it. And Benny's like, look, we must have by accident like cleaned up your table, throw them away. So let's go look for your keys. They go outside, and when I tell you this tension, because clearly I'm like, all right, is this like the doll keeper? Is this not the doll keeper? And it's just him. They're in like a back alley, where like the trash is, and Benny ends up
They're
attacking
in a
him.
back alley, like where you would put the
Yeah,
trash.
like and Benny is like attacks him, puts him in the sleeper hold and everything. He kind of gets
No, dude,
knocked.
Benny does not just attack him. I'm
He,
sorry, but Benny had like an easy 50 pounds of muscle on this guy. He has very clearly been to prison, been around the block a few times, looks like he can hold his own in a fucking 10-man bar fight. This supposed doll keeper is what? I don't know, maybe 5'7", maybe 108 pounds soaking wet. And he
for
puts
real,
up a fight.
dude. No, I didn't
Are you
understand
kidding
that
me?
either. This is the thing. I'm like, this kid looks like if he's like 120, it's giving him credit. And he all of a sudden flips the switch. He's almost like kicking Benny's ass, but Hopper knocks him out with a strike to the head with a tray. Let's go, saves the day. And
From the tray from downtown.
yeah, and you can keep telling this. I don't. I'm like not sure why the teacher's here yet because he keeps asking questions. He's like telling the girls like his just let you guys know like you could always tell me if anything's up and stuff. And I'm like wasn't quite sure what the hell is going here.
Yeah,
And
it's very strange that he would go to this fast food joint to grade
yeah,
papers.
yeah, because
I
you
mean,
see
I
him
think at
like
one point he does order food and a drink, which I get, but this is like a nasty kind of joint. Like,
yeah, it's not like
I
that
don't,
good at
yeah.
all. And they're kind of telling like this girl she can't go and everything. Meanwhile, we don't know what's going on in the back room. But then all of a sudden, like Nova's like shit ass like dad like appears and he drops off Lily who's their 5-year-old sister. And I'm like, what the fuck? And then
There's
on
no way
top,
this dude hadn't been drinking either. This man is a walking, talking piece of shit.
dude, it's one of those people the second you see him, absolute piece of shit. You hate him so much. And never mind, the 5-year-old sister gets dropped off at this nice place. She's nonverbal. And like, so this is like, holy shit, the stakes just got risen like real bad. And then never mind. So now they tie up the killer. They tie up the suspected doll keeper out back. And then like they're grilling him and yelling at him. And all of a sudden the girlfriend walks in. And she sees that he's tied up. And they're like, he's the killer. Oh my God, like this is it. Like, what is going on here? And they're like, don't say anything to her. They're basically like, this is a
They
reward for
bribe
him.
her with
Yeah.
$50.
Yeah, they don't say like what Sean mentioned earlier. It was 250K, and you see, she's like, "We'll cut you in," and I laughed because Benny's kind of like he looks so pissed, and then she's like, "We'll give you $50." Then he's like, "Oh, okay, okay, right there," and they're like, "Hang tight and don't freak out." Oh my God, this does not go good at all because she kind of like steps backwards and trips, and oh my God, she falls and hits the back of her head. It looks like she breaks her neck, and she is dead. Uh,
Dude,
And
things just got thick real fast.
so
I mean, they're swimming in shit.
yeah, so you know what? I'll kick it over to you. But obviously, before I do kick it over to you, I mean, this is real. They just call the cops and the movie's over, right? They call the cops now, right,
Yeah,
Sean?
yeah, yeah. That would be the logical thing to do, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely not, dude, because after this chick dies and we don't know what's going on, it cuts back to Nova, who is in pure panic. She actually has Millie sit with Mr. Greenwood, who is not just Nova's school teacher, but she also used to teach Harper. So these girls are pretty familiar with him. He
Yeah, they
seems
know
like a
him.
nice guy, seems trustworthy, and Nova trusts this man to sit with their nonverbal sister. Well, everyone is literally out back trying to calm down and figure out what the hell is going on. They have a serial killer tied up, a dead girl on the floor. At some point, Mr. Greenwood actually makes his way back there, and he's really pissed off with all of them because he's like, y'all are idiots. Why haven't you called the cops? And then he starts asking questions that should set off some kind of alarms in your heads. He's like, wait, so you haven't called the cops? So no one knows this is going on. You haven't alerted anyone at all. Like, no one outside of this room has any inclination that the doll maker is here, right? And they're like, yep. They pretty much tell him everything, bring him up to speed. And Benny decide to go outside and try to fix the phones, right? Call for help. This all seems like a really good idea. Once Benny realizes that the lines have been cut from outside, meaning that this dude they have tied up might not be the killer because someone else had to have cut these lines because
Already
he was
been.
tied up when they were on the phone, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
That was
Yep.
terrible. I
No,
right
no,
away. You knew
Nova
right as soon
closes
as.
down the restaurant. Harper starts to cave in. She starts to like question this dude. I guess his name is Grady. The second Grady has like the chance to speak, he's like, bro, I am not the killer. I stole that car to impress this girl because I'm dead ass broke and I told her I was successful. As all of this unfolds, dude, Benny gets a red smile from ear to ear. Like, yeah, Greenwood sneaks up behind him, slits his throat. Benny's down and out.
Dude.
Grady starts to literally fist fight with Harper, who ends up smashing him over the head with a coffee pot, and she ends up killing this kid. We don't see it, but
Dude.
next thing you know, he's like, I'm gonna end you, everyone's gonna know, and then it's like a quick flash, and this dude is just dead. Like, what the hell is happening? Everything is starting to pick up at 1,000 miles an hour. Shit is getting crazy. Nova actually finds a cell phone jammer in Mr. Greenwood's briefcase. She shuts it off. She calls the police. She can't finish this phone call though because Greenwood is back now and he's locking the front door. He gives her props. He's like, that was a smart choice in kicking everyone out of here and closing up shop. I think we need to stick together and figure this shit out. And she's like, yeah, right after Millie uses the restroom. And then he hears like a phone go off. So he goes for his briefcase while they dart out the back door. He sees it, turns on the cell phone jammer. Everything's back to where it should be. Nova finds Benny's dead ass out back.
Oh.
And Nova panics, dude. It's her and her sister. They're in a fight, for their life. It's fight or flight. They make it to her car. And Nova's ass misses the chance to actually leave with her sister and get to safety, find cops, something. At this point in the movie, I thought maybe we were about to leave this restaurant
I
and
did
take
too.
it down the road.
I did too.
But she sees Mr. Greenwood start heading out back, and she's like, fuck, that's where Harper is. And she's like, you need to stay here. Don't make a sound. Don't move, Millie. I'll be back for you. So Nova now makes her way out back to try to help Harper. And somewhere along these lines, the cops show up. And when the cops show up at the same exact time, Mr. Greenwood now has Millie at knife point by his side. He sits down at the booth, says, let the cops come in. We're going to play this cool. We're going to get them in and out. You're going to tell them nothing's going on. You guys are closed because the shit ain't working. Nova does a piss poor job of trying to play it cool. She even tries to slip these cops a note. And somewhere along the process, Mr. Greenwood knows what's up and he actually switches bags. So this note is all for naught and her attempt is an absolute failure. They're now sitting in the booth and he starts to give them a rundown on how his dolls are vessels and how he's sorry that Nova does not have a doll and she's going to feel all this pain, and how Millie definitely deserves a doll, but he can't guarantee it. And in the middle of this conversation, we hear banging on the glass window. The cops are back. Millie gave them ketchup instead of barbecue sauce, and we saw this was completely intentional to try to get them to come back a second time around in case this note shit didn't work, because those cops are assholes and they love to give Nova and Harper just a mouthful of shit every time they're in there. While she's back getting the barbecue sauce, Nova starts to signal to her sister, who Justin had said earlier is nonverbal, so there's sign language. No one knows ASL besides them two. So she's giving her the rundown. She's like, yo, I'm about to like turn this shit up to 11. When I give you the signal, get the fuck away from this guy. She gives her the signal. She bites into Greenwood's hand. He
Bites. Let's
lets
go.
go. Millie smashes this dude in the face with some scalding hot coffee. The cop has no idea what's going on. And while Nova's trying to ask for help and say that he's the killer, this cop is completely distracted and
Dude.
Greenwood kills the cop. And her idiot partner is less than 5 feet away with his window down and the restaurant door open. And this man is too busy jamming out to some shitty ass music to understand anything that's going on. This even gives Greenwood enough time to drag the dead body off to the side, out of
Dude,
view.
out of view.
Are you kidding me right now?
This is the worst cop.
And then he goes out there and he spits some shit about how there's an unruly customer that won't leave the restroom or some shit. So this cop gets out to like go help. And as he steps out of his cruiser, Nova gets this guy killed again because she comes running around like a lunatic from the side of the restaurant screaming for help and that he's the doll maker. And while this cop can't understand a word she's screaming, Greenwood takes his ass out.
Yeah, that did not go good at all. And then,
No,
like I
not at
said,
all.
like we see Nova, she goes and fills in Hopper, who is just like hang out in the bathroom and stuff. And then once again, right here, I wrote, why didn't they just run outside right now? Like, why are you back inside just hanging out when you have a little bit of time? But once again, everybody is still inside, and all of a sudden they realize, shit, like Lily's like can't breathe, and she also so she has an inhaler, and they're like, oh my god, we got to go friggin' out there, so we need a plan. And these two girls can't get on the same page because she's like, we got to kill him, and then the others like, no, we like he's big, he's got a gun, like we just got to run. But Hopper's like, no, 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 we got to kill him. So there's their plans suck throughout this whole movie. Like, my
Dude,
god.
I mean, I get it. Harper sees the opportunity because when Nova is like, he just killed the cops and then he killed Benny out back and then he killed the guy we thought was the killer in the break room. A light goes off in Harper's head and she's like, "Oh yeah, he definitely, yeah, he did that. Not me.
Yep.
He did it. So let's
So
kill him so he can't say I didn't do it."
exactly. So then they actually have a plan, which is actually a freaking good one. I would say they like pull a fire alarm. It goes right to the fire department. So they're like, this is amazing. So let's freaking go. But all of a sudden, Hopper like walks out and she's like, I'm sorry. And as that happens, we see the fire alarm is cut. Like Nova goes to
Bro,
cut it.
worst
It
co-worker
is
ever.
cut. And guess what? The killer walks out with Lily. The freaking dollkeeper's got Lily. Dude, she's just staring at Hopper because I'm like, what the hell? Like, what just happened? And all of a
She
sudden,
calls
he
this
pulls.
a mutually beneficial exchange.
Yes, because the
I fucking
dollkeeper
hate Harper
has.
so much.
Oh my dear God! I figured we're gonna have a talk about her. He has footage on his phone like kind of like blackmailing her, and she's got stuff on him, obviously. And we see like how she snapped and stabbed Grady to death after the scene we didn't see earlier. And like, holy shit. And she basically is like, look, well, I can't get caught. I'm going places. Like, I have a whole entire life ahead of me. Like, this
What
is
did she say? She said, I'm building an empire or something like that, right?
she's going places. She's building an empire. She can't like what are you even working on? Like what is this?
Yeah.
What is even happening? This is a mutual exchange. We're both helping each other, and then holy shit, the boss is back. Never thought I'd be excited to see her, but I'm like maybe this will something good will come out of this. And he's the doll keeper's pumping up Hopper. He's like, look. Go out there. You solve problems. Like, get rid of her. You do this. And Hopper goes out there and opens the door for her. And she does a pretty good job trying to. She's like, look, Benny quit, and Nova had to go help her sister, so she left.
Oh
So
yeah, and the cops broke down. They left their car here.
yeah,
They're gonna come back tomorrow and get it.
it got really really ridiculous real fast. And like I said, I'm just here cleaning up, and yeah, the cops have to do this. And she's like, wait, what? Okay. And she gets really pissed, and she's all pissed at why she's wanting to know why Benny quit and everything. And she leaves though. She's out there, but Nova car keys, and she pops the trunk of Grady's car, which is right next to the boss, and the big boss bitch. What
Big
the
boss,
boss the
bitch.
big boss bitch?
Put that on a t-shirt.
I know. I didn't mean to say that. She sees the dead body. I was like, holy shit, that was actually brilliant. Like that was actually pretty good right there. And then I'm like, holy shit, the boss just goes right for a gun. She goes for a gun and heads back in. I'm like, this is friggin' badass. I'm like, maybe I'll actually like her. And we
Dude,
see
she
like,
turns into a blubbering sack of shit real
yeah,
fast.
real fast because I was so excited for the scene. Like, I was like, oh, this is gonna be the most badass thing I've ever seen. Meanwhile, Nova and the sister get locked into a room. And then I went, what the fuck? This is so dumb because the boss has a gun now. She acted like a badass and everything. She's pointing it at the doll keeper, and he's like, "Oh, hi, I'm Mr. Greenwood. I was the teacher
I'm a
from this." And
teacher. I'm a really nice guy.
like, there's so many red flags. Like, what is even happening? There's no lights on. There's blood on the floor. Will you open your eyes? Like,
She
there's a
literally goes, "That's not ketchup, is it?"
yeah. She says that, and he's still walking close to her, and then all of a sudden, Hopper, who is the worst character ever, because now she flips on him. She is not even loyal to the bad guy. She is just terrible. And she turns again, and she's like yelling, like, grab his phone, grab his phone. The proof is on his phone. And dude, like all this happens, she's still pointing the gun. Like, what is even he literally grabs the gun away from her and stabs the boss, and she's dead. I just
I'm just gonna put this out there, dude.
yeah.
These girls need to stop asking people for help
I
because every person they
every
have asked for help has died almost instantly.
terribly. I don't know. You want to take it away again? That was frustrating.
Yeah, dude. After Susan, the fucking Jersey Shore crazy big boss lady,
Big
gets
boss
fucking
bitch.
killed. Yeah, big boss bitch. We see Greenwood is now on the hunt for Harper, and all this. While all this is going on, Nova caves in, and Millie says like, "Hey, I can do this. I'm small enough to slip through that vent because your ass clearly can't even get your head through it. I don't know why you keep trying. Even I'm not that dumb." So she's like, all right, Millie, go ahead. But they are running out of time very fast because as soon as Millie gets through this vent, Greenwood gives Harper a knife full of belly. A knife full of belly made no sense. I meant to say a belly full of knife.
I was like, wait, a knife full of belly?
Yep. And I was like, now that this headache's out of the movie, it's only Nova and Millie left for Mr. Greenwood to hunt down. And
Mm-hmm.
while an intense game of hide and seek starts to take place in this fast food joint, he knocks Nova out cold. And right after he knocks her out, he takes Millie out to his car, pops the trunk, and says, I think he's like, meet Megan. Is that what he
Yeah.
said her name was?
Yeah. Yep.
And he was like, you'll have a doll soon enough. And then he shuts the trunk, leaving her in there. And I'm like, this dude is fucked. He very clearly wants Millie alive so he can do his ritual because he's starting to become unhinged because he's got a method for what he does. And he said he's been like absolutely, scatterbrained because he's been winging it since his car got stolen by Grady. And that's what brought him to this fast food joint. But after he puts her in the trunk, he goes back for Nova, who has woken up and currently soaked this entire place in gasoline and started to prepare a microwave bomb. She starts it, but he stops it. And this is another plan that doesn't work. So she has to fight it out with him. And as they're fighting it out, he gets the upper hand. He's got Susan's gun. He's got her dead to rights, bro. But this shitty ass fry later acts up and spits grease all over this man's face. Drops the gun. He's cleaning the grease off. Now they have to go back to melee. They have to throw fists and they have to just squabble with each other. And he's got her again on the countertop and he's strangling her. And just as it looks like he's about to win and Nova's about to lose, she gets a hold of a knife and she puts this shit so deep into his jugular that he dies almost instantly the second he pulls this knife out of his neck.
Yep.
Nova gathers herself. She goes out. She rescues Millie. And then some dude shows up and he just goes, "Hey, y'all open?" And that made me smile because now we see the cops have showed up. The
Yep.
EMTs have showed up. They are patching these girls up. They're making sure they are good to go. And I felt such a sense of relief for these two sisters because with this reward money, now that the cops are there and it's just them two left standing, it's shaping up to truly be a happy ending because these sisters can tell Wade, the craptastic dad, to go fuck himself, leave this small town in the rearview mirror and go start fresh somewhere else. That is one hell of an ending for these sisters, and I could not have been happier for both of them to get that ending.
Hell yeah. Also, did you call the little girl's name's Lily, right? Did you call her Millie?
Millie.
It's Millie?
Millie. I know you called her Lily a few times.
I'm pretty sure it's Lily.
No, it's Millie.
Are you sure?
I don't know.
Shit, man.
I don't know. Give me your final thoughts and your rating and stuff, and I'll look this up real quick.
All right. I think this was a fun watch. I think there's some positives, like the badass final girl. I thought she was Nova.
No, Nova was pretty sick. I loved
Amazing.
her.
I'm going to actually try to pronounce the name. I kind of shout out Nakoni Matmaja. I think I might have said that right. She was a standout in this movie. Absolutely amazing. There was, is it Millie? Shit, man. I called her Lily the whole time. All right. Anyway, sorry, Lily. It's Millie. There was a lot of stupid decisions. It was far from perfect. And I do like these one location movies, but I thought the third act dragged a little bit because I thought there was like a lot of cat and mouse, that it was like almost too much. I thought it was great at first, but I thought it went on a little too long. I kind of just, a few times I thought they were going to go to a different location, or I thought like the whole searching thing. I was like, wait, why didn't you guys run now? I thought it would have benefited from maybe something else. So I do think it was a fun watch. I still think you should watch it. I think the guy who was the bad guy did amazing. Like I said, I thought Nicole did awesome. But I don't know. I think some of the writing might have not been the best. I give it a 6 out of 10. I still think it's worth it, and I had fun. I was liking the first like 2/3 of it more than I did. Like, think it dragged a little too much. But
See,
6 out
we're
of
very
10.
close on our opinions. However, I like the
Yeah,
beginning. I thought the middle dragged out way too long. And then the payoff at the
maybe
end
that's what it
could
was.
could have been a little bit shorter. I think this movie's runtime is an hour and what, 37 minutes? Or an
Yeah,
hour and 47. I feel like this
it
could
was
have
37.
benefited from being closer to like an hour 20.
I thought so.
I
I
I,
actually wrote
I
that.
love like I fell in love with Millie. You know what I mean? For a non-verbal character, she like stole my heart with just her
Mm.
innocence and like the what's going on like stuff. Nova, absolute badass final girl. I thought Mr. Greenwood made a great serial killer.
I
That
did
man
too.
is Ned Flanders with a butcher's knife.
I
And I
like
thought it
both
was
of them.
awesome. It told you right off the rip. It didn't give you a chance to like Harper. It didn't give you a chance to like Susan. It didn't give you a chance to like those cops. It didn't give you a chance to like Emma or Grady. So you knew who to hate off the rip. I liked Benny. I wish that dude lived a little longer and there was a
Same.
more intense fight than Mr. Greenwood sneaking up on him. Because let's be honest, pretty sure Mr. Greenwood could have taken him one on one based off the fight that he put up with Grady in the back alley.
Yeah.
Benny might not know how to fight his way out of a wet paper bag. So
Mm.
there is that. Like the acting was good. Love the single location. When I watched this, we were just coming off of Diner. we were just doing Takeout, and there was a lot of like single locations, kind of neon lights, like right around the time we did Vicious Fun. And I like that atmosphere. And
This is
that's what made me want to watch this movie. And I was like, that's why I put it on. And that's why when I was scrolling through the list of shit that had just came out, I completely forgot about this. And I was like, you know what? Let's do this because I remember liking it. I'm giving this a 6.5, and I'm saying this is definitely worth a watch. This is not a must watch, but this is definitely worth a watch if you want to change a pace.
I
There's
agree.
no actors I recognize in this film at all, which was refreshing because none of them were bad, which usually you don't get. Usually, when you get a low budget horror movie like this, you might get lucky and see one or maybe two that are good, and the rest of them are just hot garbage. I feel like everyone executed their roles in this movie perfectly. The writing just could have been a little bit better, and the movie could have been
That's
a
what I
little bit
thought.
shorter.
Yeah, we're pretty close. I also, before we just move on and say any fun facts or anything, I wrote, of course, Sean picked this because it's the diner, a one location, and I'm not even joking. I wrote this kind of had like vicious, fun vibes, and I couldn't remember the one with that girl that listened to that punk rock song.
Diner.
Uh, I don't think it was
I'm
called
pretty sure
Diner.
it was called Diner.
Wasn't it called Straw something? Or did
Straw.
I?
Yeah, the last straw.
Straw.
That's what it was.
Last straw.
Last straw.
Yeah,
It takes place in the diner.
yeah, so I literally wrote this kind of reminded me of like those two movies. That's so funny that as soon as I was watching this, I'm like, this is such a Sean movie. Like, my
I
God.
also had written down that this kind of reminded me of the first episode in the movie Body Bags when they were at that truck stop.
I thought of
That
that
it
too.
reminded me of that like cat and mouse too. Yeah.
I did too. I thought of that. It's fucked up, man. We did like too close. I 100% thought of that too.
Like we
So
are right there on the same page.
yeah, and
Okay.
like I said, I'm almost bummed that I gave it set. Like I wish it was a little because I actually like
I
was
feel
really
yeah.
liking it.
I feel like
Like
if
it
this was
had
shorter and a little
yeah.
faster, this would have been like an easy 7.5.
Yeah, because they had me hooked right away. Like right away, I was like really into it right away. And all right, so I got that. This was filmed in Cape Town, South Africa.
Absolutely. I got this as a 5.4 on IMDb.
Awesome. I got the director Jem Garad. They also did I have not seen it, but they did 2025's R.L. Stein's Pumpkinhead.
The kids are actually upstairs watching that because just as I finished this on Tubi, R.L. Stein's Pumpkinhead started playing next. So
Wait,
my son's up there watching it right now.
not quite sure how that just happened. That's that's amazing.
That's
Okay.
crazy, right? I didn't
What?
even realize it was the same director because I struggled finding some fun facts. So I was like, you know what? Let's just talk a lot about the movie and kind of let it delve from there. But I've also got this was released on September 19th, 2025. So almost a full year since the release that we're doing this now, which is kind of wild because I don't think
That
we've hit
is.
a movie that close to its year.
No, that is really weird. And then like pretty much the last thing I have is that this was a Tubi original.
And the only self thing that I could see in this movie, based off of his actions and like unstableness of the guy we thought was the killer in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
I know Jack Torrance is from The Shining. You can't call this guy Jack, but you can call him Grady. And Grady was the first guy to kill his family in The Shining.
Oh,
So
no
I didn't know
shit.
if there was like
Okay.
a link between them.
Yeah.
I looked for a little while, but I couldn't find
Yep.
anything.
All
But
right.
in
All
my
right.
head, I was like, the way he's acting is the same way Jack Torrance started acting once the hotel had a hold of him.
Yep.
And based off of the way that book plays out and the way they talk about Grady in that book, he once the hotel got a hold of him, dude became like psychosomatic and just like
Mm-hmm.
completely void of any soul. And that's what this kid Grady gave you in the beginning of the movie. Which
Oh,
I would love to
100%.
see him as a serial killer in a movie or some kind of just
Yeah, he put
crazy
out some
person
he
because
put out
he
some
he
crazy
killed it.
creepy vibes. He was very creepy.
Hell yeah. All right, hack stab slash. Until next time, hit that like, share, subscribe. Join us for another wild ride as we continue to tackle horror movie after horror movie and crush this shit.
Let's go. Peace.
Yeah, seriously, like tell all your friends because we're both tired of going to work, and if we can make this full time, our content would be primo.
Please help
Instead of just
us.
finding the little itty bits and crumbs of time in between
For
jobs
real.
and family life to try to
Oh,
do this shit.
please help us. I don't
Help,
want to go back
help.
to work tomorrow.
Later.